to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow.
How's it going, guys? So welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you some Battlefield 4 maps, but the locations that they're based off in real life. So coming in at number 1 is the Qinghai-Tibet Railway, or known as the Qingzhang Railway. On Battlefield 4 it's also known as Golmud Railway. It is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, railway line in the world, and it actually stretches for 1,956 kilometres, which is also 1,215 miles. And it's very high up as well. Some of the altitudes that this train line runs at, for example, the highest station in the world, 5,068 metres above sea level, and one of the parts of the actual railway line runs at 5,072 metres. So you're up there in the mountains. It actually has a doctor on board the train. Each passenger has got his own oxygen supply because you're at such a high altitude. It's actually quite ridiculous, to be fair. There's going to be a little bit of history on each part of these maps, but I am going to show you about the Battlefield 4 maps themselves. I think if you're interested in this sort of stuff, it's going to be quite interesting for you. So let's get straight on to the next one. Now for number 2 is the Arecibo Observatory, and it's actually based in Puerto Rico, South America. Which I don't really understand why, seeing as the game is meant to be based on Chinese and American warfare. But anyway, enough of that. Arecibo Observatory is called Rogue Transmission on Battlefield 4. It's a radio telescope down in Puerto Rico. From its construction started in the 1960s up until 2011. So that's 51 years that was being built for, or worked on. So it's a hell of a lot of work. The actual dish itself is 305 metres in diameter, and it's been constructed inside the depression of a sinkhole, which is really cool, to be fair. So a sinkhole happened in the earth. They realised that they could put natural disaster to use and built a giant telescope inside the middle of the earth. I reckon that's really cool. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments what you think about that one. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now coming in for number 3 is a factory in Ukraine known as the Mothership Factory. It's also known as Zavod 311 on Battlefield 4. But this factory is quite interesting. It looks abandoned there. It looks quite derelict. It's basically an old cemetery for tanks, as you can see by these photos. But it's best known for its production of Soviet tanks, including the BT tank series of fast tanks, the famous T-34 of the Second World War, the Cold War T-64 and T-80, and their modern Ukrainian successor, the T-84, which is really interesting. So they built a lot of tanks for the Soviet Union throughout the wars that we've seen in the past. At its height during the Soviet era, the factory employed up to 60,000 people. So that is insane. They must have been banging out so many tanks. They did used to do diesel engines, coal refinery, sugar refinery. They've done a lot of other stuff, but we're here for the war side of it, as it's a Battlefield 4 based video. I just find that very interesting. It had 60,000 people working there, creating tanks for the Soviet era of the war. Absolutely insane. And for the 4th and final one, I enjoy this one. It'd be somewhere where it'd be really cool to go and see, but at the moment I think there's a little bit of conflict going on between Vietnam and South China, debating whether these islands are theirs. I could be wrong, but that's from what I've read. They're known as the Paracel Islands, and if you've played Battlefield 4, then this is the version of it in Battlefield 4. It's called Paracel Storm. Looks very good. Lovely to go there. It's in the South Chinese Sea. It's one of the most southerly points in China. It's got like tropical weather. It looks amazing. The sea's lovely. But like I said earlier, I think, I could be wrong, but I think there's a little conflict going on between China and Vietnam at the moment, or not too long ago in the past, basically arguing between whose islands that they are. So, you know, maybe it's not a place that you could go to at the moment, but once all the stuff's settled down, it could be a really nice holiday location, as you can see there from the photos at the beginning and what Battlefield 4 have remade of this video. But I have got a lot more maps that I could have done, but I didn't want to drag this video out for too long. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see more of this. I've got plenty more I could do. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.